Hello, this is David, and today I'll be doing Lab 6 in 2030, and we'll be configuring a file service. First thing we'll be doing, we're going to set up two users, and we're going to set up two groups. One of the groups we're going to set up will have a read-only, and the other group will have a modifier, full control, and we'll be doing this on our Active Directory Domain Controller, Instructor1 server. Then we're going to be setting up two folders, each on the two servers. So that means we're going to be putting two folders in 801 and two folders in 802. Then we're going to install the file service row on both of the two servers, 801 and 802. Then we're going to set up two folders on each of the server, and we're going to share, and then we're going to do our permissions by NTFS permissions. Then we're going to be testing these NTFS shared permissions. Then we're going to create a DFS namespace, and we're going to attach a folder from each of the servers and put in it. And then we're going to be testing our namespace on each of the servers. To start with, we need to set up two users and two groups. And what I'm going to do here, I'll bring this up here a little bit, and that's on the Instructor1 server, and it is our Active Directory Domain Controller. We're going to be setting up Test User 1 and Test User 2. Then we're going to be setting up two groups. I call them Red Group, which is a read-only group, and we're going to be adding Test User 1 to this group. Then I'm going to make a mod group, and that's going to be the modified group or the full control group. And I'm going to add Test User 2 to that group. Then I'm going to set up two folders on each server, and I'm going to call them Fold1 _ 801. And when we share that, we're going to add the group, the red group, which is read-only, and set up another folder on 801, call it Folder2 _ 801, and we're going to add the mod group to it. And then on the 802, we're going to set up two folders, and we're just going to reverse the two groups. If we go to our instructor, I've already set up the two users. And as you see here, there's Test User 1 and Test User 2. And if you look up here, there's the mod group, which is a full control modified group. And then here's the red group. If we bring them up and look at them here, we'll notice that the red group has Test User 1, and that's what we said here. The red group will have Test User 1, and mod group will have Test User 2. So this is correct here on the red group. And if we go up here to our mod group and look at it, look at the members of it, this has Test User 2, and that is going to the mod group. So we've got our users and our group set up. So what we're going to do now is set up some folders. And I've actually set up the folders already. I've got on 801 here, server. I've got folder 1, 801, and folder 2. And each of these folders has got a doc1 and doc2 according to the folder. And if you look at it, I've added some text to each of the folders, and this was added by server 801. And if we go over here and look on server 802, let's bring it up here. And here's the two folders on it. There's folder 1 and folder 2, and each one of them has a doc with something in it. So let's close that out. So what we want to do now is I'm going to show you how to set up the install the file service row. I've already got them installed here on 801 and 802, so I'm going to show you on just another server I got set up. You just bring up Server Manager, double click on Rows, and then add a row. And it brings up the wizard. And go next on the front page. We want to the file service row, so we'll click on it, and next, and then click next again. And we want to add some more to these the services in our row. We're going to add the DFS services, which will include the DFS namespace and the DFS replication, which when we set our namespace up, we are going to set up replication and test that out also. And we want to go ahead and get the file service resource manager, and then just click next. We want to create a namespace later. We'll be setting it up later in the tutorial. Click next, and then next, and then click install. We've got our rows set up with our services. So now we want to set up the sharing and NTFS permissions. And you can do that a couple of different ways, but I like to go to Start, Admin Tools, Computer Management, and we're going to be going into the Shares. When it comes up here, let's see the Shares folders. If you click on it and set up Shares, I've already got that folder 2 set up, but I'm going to demonstrate how to set it up. Is just right click on your Shares, and we want to go New Share, and this brings up the Share Wizard, and I'm going to say Next. We're going to browse, and we're going to select folder 1 that we set up. And we're going to give it a next. We could call this share name anything, but I'm going to leave it Fold1 _ 801. We can give it a description, but I'm not going to give it one. Right now I'm going to give all users have read access only, and we're going to say finish. Okay, then what I like to do is, since I've got it set up here now, I'm going to set up the permissions. So let's go to properties. And first we want to set up the share permissions. And I want to give everyone full control. And we're going to override that with our security, which is setting up the NTFS permissions. And we want to go with advanced here. And then we want to edit this. And I'm going to take off this include inheritance, and we're going to remove that. And now here's where we're going to add our groups. On, let's see, folder 1, let's bring our document up here. Folder 1, we want to add the red group to it. So here's 801 in folder 1. We're going to add the red group to it. So let's do this, do an add. And we're going to do an advance. And it's going to ask for the administrator password of the domain controller. So we'll give it sign on here. And we're going to do find now. We said on that folder, that was folder 1, that's the red group, so let's go down here and get the red group. There's the red group, that's the read-only user group at GPO that we created, or group we created, not GPO. We'll say okay, we're going to give him full control. No, let's see, read-only just gets read, so we want to, let's uncheck that, we want read-only, read permissions. Let's see, read and list. So we've got them set up. So now what I always like to do is go ahead and set up the administrator too and give him full control just in case the administrator needs to do anything. And we'll hit apply, say okay, okay. As you see here, what's happened to my read group here? Let's edit that again here. List, read attributes, if you want to read. Okay, you see it has the read now. Okay, you see it's down there, read now. Okay, let's give it one more. I believe everything looks okay. We've got to set up read and list of contents. And then the administrator has full control there. So, and if we go over to our share permissions, it's set to allow everyone full control, and that's just so they can share the folder. But this security, which is the NTFS permissions, will override that. So we're going to say okay, and this is one I already set up earlier. Let's go into it. And this is folder 2, and on folder 2, the mod group has full control of it. So if we go in here, the share, everyone has full control, but if we go in here under the security, we've got the mod group, and they have full control. So we can close that out. Now let's go over here to these two folders, and let's check them out. This is A02. Folder 1 should have mod. So let's go check it in folder 1. Let's go into properties, and there's the share permissions, everyone, and the NTFS permissions, and as we got mod there. They've got full control. And if we go into folder 2, let's see what folder 2 should have. It should have read only. So let's make sure we've got everything set up correctly here. Everyone, okay, and then our permissions. Whoops, well, I need to change that one. That just supposed to clear all of them. And set them up with read permissions. Let's double check it here. Go back into properties. Share, everyone, security is read. If we go down here, whoops. Let's set this one up again. Read permissions. Let's see. Read, whoops. There you go. Okay. It looks like both of them is set up now. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to log off here. And then we're going to log back on as the two users and make sure that the permissions is set up correctly. Okay, our server's come back up, and we're logged on here as test user 1. So test user 1, if you remember right, he's a member of the read-only group, the red group. So the folder 1, we can, on 801 server, is the read-only group. and folder 2 was a modified group. So what we should be able to do is to be able to read folder 1's document and folder's 2 document on 801. We shouldn't even have access to it. So let's go here to 801 server, W2K 801, and we'll see the, spell it correctly here, the 2 folders. Right here's the 2 share folders. And so 801 is the read group. Should be able to read that. And if you remember right, test 1 was a member of the read group. So let's see if we can read it. Okay, we can read it. That was added by 801. Now let's see if we can save something to it, and it shouldn't let us because we're in read only. And sure enough, we can't. So let's just quit this. So we know that part works. Now, if we go to folder 2, and it just only has the modified group in it, and so we shouldn't be able to see anything. And sure enough, we have permission problems. So that part's working. So let's go over here to 801, and we're going to, well, we want to try 802 first. So let me just log off here and log back on as test user 2, and we'll see what we have there. Okay, I've come up and logged back on, and now I'm on server 802, and I'm logged on as test user 2. And if we go here and look, test user 2 is a member of group of the modified group. And so on 801, when we go to 801, folder 1 only had the read group, so we shouldn't be able to get to that folder and see what's in it. But folder 2, we added a group mod group, so we should be able to get into folder 2 and actually change a document in there, and we're going to try that out here. Because mod group is a member of folder 2 here on 801. If we look up here on the mod group, test user 2 is a member of that group. So let's bring it up here and try it. We're actually signed on as test user 2. So we want to, right there's the server, so we'll bring that up. So we said that folder 1 was the red group, so we shouldn't be able to even get in there, and we can't. And if we go to folder 2, we'll bring up the document. Now we're going to see if we can add something. 802. Put my numeric lock on there for 802. Okay, this is added by server 802. Let's see if we can save it. And it let us. So let's close just to verify that. Let's go over here and go into folder 2. Folder 2. And sure enough, it worked. Now what we want to do is we want to go over here, and I'm going to log off. Logged on as administrator right now. We're going to log off and log back on as the test user 1. And see how 802's folders, we've got them set up correctly. Okay, I've got server 801 booted up, and we're signed on as test user 1. And if we go back here to our test user 1, remember, was just a member of the read group only, the red group. So on, we're going to folder 802, so we should be able to get to the mod group documents, but we should be able to just read, but not modify folder, anything that's in folder 2. So let's test that theory. Oops, we don't want to do that. We just want to minimize that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to server 2, W2K 802, and bring those folders up. And do it correctly. W2K 802. I've got something misspelled here. / W2K 802. Oh, the numeric lock's not on, so let me put that numeric lock on there. 802, now I see 802. Now let's bring it up. And so what did we say on 802? I'm signed on as user 1, which user 1 is in the read-only group, so we should be able just to read what's in folder 2, and that's it. Shouldn't let us save, and we shouldn't be able to get into anything on folder 1. So let's just test that theory. Okay, I finally got it keyed in right, W2K802. / W2K802 /. So we're saying we shouldn't get to anything in folder 1. And bring it up there. Nope, can't get in there. Now we should be able to get in here and just read, but not change anything. Okay, we can read it. Now let's just try to add something. Nope. Okay, looks like everything is working correctly on that. Close this out. So I think I'll make this a 2-parter, and we'll do the DFS namespace on part 2. Thank you for watching part 1 of this tutorial.